Welcome to the Applied Machine Learning for the Cybersecurity, a hands-on YouTube video tutorial series specially designed for the data and machine learning engineer to help them to solve the critical challenges in the cybersecurity space by applying the modern machine learning and data engineering techniques. This is the fourth tutorial in the section 2 and ninth in this series. If you haven't seen the previous video, then I would recommend you to watch it first for having the better understanding before continuing any further on this path. You can watch it either by clicking on the link given below in the description or by starting with the first video in the playlist. A quick recap on what we had covered so far in section 2. First, we had discussed about the Apache Spark and Kubernetes architecture and also looked into advantages of leveraging Kubernetes as the Spark cluster manager. Next, we had deployed the sample Spark application in Kubernetes cluster using the Kubernetes deployment object. Next, we had created end-to-end ML pipeline with the help of Spark MLlib and had done the implementation in Jupyter Notebook. And in the last video, we had developed the end-to-end ML pipeline using the typical development, build and deployment lifecycle, where we had execute each steps manually using the Kubernetes job. In the last video, we had developed the Spark pipeline using the logistic regression classifier, which comes out of box with the MLlib for Spark. And now it's the time to run our ML pipeline with some industry standard ML algorithm, which is XGBoost, and also incorporating the AutoML framework, that is H2 AutoML with Spark. Just a quick recap on XGBoost. It's an implementation of the gradient boost decision tree designed for the speed and performance. It supports both classification and regression and has recently been dominating the applied machine learning world and a Kaggle competition for structured and tabular data. XGBoost really stands apart when it comes to speed and performance, and we have also proven it in our last section that XGBoost gave us better scores among all other machine learning algorithms. In the last section, we had ran the standalone XGBoost model with the Python, and in the current demo, we will see it in action using the Apache Spark. XGBoost is not the out-of-box package for the Apache Spark, and we have to import the additional library in order to make it available for the machine learning application. So let's rebuild our Spark Docker image in order to support the XGBoost for Spark. Let's open the Spark XGBoost Docker file. And as you can see, we are upgrading the Docker image from our last exercise and adding the XGBoost 4j libraries to it. When it comes to adding the third-party libraries with this Spark, there are two ways you can do it. First, by including those in the core application by itself, and the second one by including them in the Docker image. Here we will follow the second approach, and it's really simple to include these libraries with the Docker. Let's build our Docker file for the XGBoost and upload it to the Docker Hub. Now let's create the Jupyter Notebook deployment based on the above Docker image. In the last video, we had developed our pipeline code using IntelliJ and had followed the formal approach of packaging and deploying the same. Although that's the correct approach to go with, but it's a time consuming and we are likely going to avoid it going further. The purpose of the last video is to demonstrate you that how real-time development practices works, but for the purpose of this series, we would rely on the Jupyter Notebook mostly, as it's super easy to develop, debug and test our code instantly and at the same place. So let's launch the Jupyter Notebook server and upload the Jupyter Notebook associated with this video, that is chapter 4. Let's open the notebook and execute each style while discussing the same. The first three cells are adhering to the same style that we have been following from the previous videos. The only difference is that instead of the previous image, we are using the latest XGBoost Docker image that we have just created. So I will execute all these cells one by one now. The fourth cell is where we are creating the data frame against which we would be running the malware analysis. And if you notice that we are getting the data from output of the previously executed feature engineering section, which was the completion of the NLP stage where we had already extracted the feature from the malware analysis. The next three cells are the initialization of the XGBoost, out of which first cell is setting up the hyperparameter, and those are alpha is equal to 0.01 is the regularization value. Regularizations are the techniques used to reduce the error by fitting the function appropriately on the given training set and avoiding the overfitting. Second is the num underscore round is equal to 10, the number of rounds for the boosting. Number underscore classes equal to 10, which is the number of labels in our data, and the third cell is for setting up the feature label and prediction columns. After that, we are splitting the data into the 70:30 ratio for training and testing respectively. Once done, we are training the data using XGBoost classifier by calling it fit method on it. Once the training is done, we are calling the prediction on the test data. Here is the prediction output, and now it's the time to evaluate our accuracy. Wow, it's 93%, much better than what we had observed using the logistic regression, which gives us only 70% accuracy. This is why XGBoost is dominating the industry for its amazing training speed and very high accuracy. Now that we have seen that how to implement the XGBoost with Spark, it's time to move on to the next topic, that is AutoML framework. In section 1, we had already discussed about the importance of AutoML framework, had compared 3 top industry leading AutoML framework and ran the POC using the H2O AutoML framework, but there we had used the standalone H2O module, which is good for dealing with this small scale of data, and here we would be exploring the H2O sprinkling water module, which is the H2O module to integrate the Spark application for running the prediction in distributed fashion on large scale of the data. So let's begin with building our Docker image, which we can use with the Kubernetes deployment. And here you can see that we are installing the H2O PySprinkling 3.0 module, which is the H2O module to integrate with the Spark 3. Once the image has been built and pushed, we have to update our deployment.yaml file to use the same, and has to recreate the Kubernetes object again by deleting the existing deployment and recreating the stack. Now that Kubernetes deployment object has been created and the load balancer endpoint is available, let's launch the Jupyter Notebook server and upload the H2O AutoML notebook to it. Let's have a quick walkthrough of this notebook before executing each cell. The cell 1 is to declare the generic constant we would be referring in the notebook, like image name, certificates, etc. Cell 2 as usual to initialize the Spark context, but this time along with the Spark context we are also initializing the H2O context. Cell 3 is where we are creating the data frame from our previously generated feature engineering output, and cell 4 is to initialize the H2O auto object, and some of the important parameters are exclude algo, which instruct the H2O that which algorithm we want to exclude during the training, and the max model is the parameter to instruct H2O that how many maximum number of models we would like to compare for our training. Next two cells is to declare the ML pipeline object and fitting the training data. Once the data is trained, we can see the top model stored based. Once the data is trained, we can see the top model stored based on the RMSE, which is root mean square error, and the lower is the error, higher is the accuracy for the models, and we can see XGBoost is again outperforming all other types of algorithm. The next 5 cells are run to predictions on the test data and evaluate the accuracy on the data. Once done, we are saving the leader model to the S3, and the same model can be used in production app to run the prediction against the incoming data, and the next cell just mimicking the behavior where we are loading the ML model from the S3 and running the prediction against newly created data frame. This is the end of our H2O sprinkling water module demo, and to productionizing it, we just have to follow the previously discussed CI/CD approach, and we would be done with very robust distributed ML pipeline using the H2O AutoML. With this, I am concluding the current chapter, And I hope that you have understood that how to integrate the XGBoost and H2 AutoML framework with the Spark for building the robust pipeline. At this point, we have enough knowledge on how to build the end-to-end ML pipeline using Apache Spark's inbuilt module and also integrating it with the third-party module like XGBoost and H2O. And it's time to look into the more advanced topics like the GPU accelerated training using CUDA primitives and deep learning frameworks. Meantime, please practice the current video and let me know if you face any issue while doing so. And at last, please leave your comment and let me know your feedback about the tutorial, and please subscribe the channel if you haven't. That way you can always get the first handle on any upcoming video as soon as it's being released. Thank you and have a nice time.